not only the change of heart from investors, but why the negativity coming from the analysts so far? There's only 7 on the analyst recommendations of Bloomberg, but not one is a buy.
Yeah, so the two key issues here are valuation and user growth. So if you look at the valuation, I mean, it's more than 24 times price to forward sales. It makes it one of the most expensive stocks in the US tech space today. And that in the backlight of increasing Instagram competition and the slowing user growth that we saw in 4Q, and worries that would that reverse anytime soon. So I think those are the two big reasons why you're seeing all the negativity.
Does this happen often? I was looking back at Twitter and it rallied 70% on its opening day and managed to continue to push up its overall valuation. Meanwhile, Facebook eroded a lot of its value post-IPO. There was a glitch from NASDAQ, but then it only sort of several months later started to rebound. Should we be more braced for euphoria let down after IPOs?
I think so. If you look at most of the tech IPOs over the last 10 years, really, when we looked at the price movements, in the first couple of months, the volatility is very high because it's dictated by the supply demand of stocks available, what the interest level is at, because they float a very small amount. And then just before the lockup period, you see the movement changing direction and things like that. So this is a very common thing that we have seen in many of these IPOs. We saw that with GoPro, stock had tripled in the first couple of months of trading, and then fell after that just before the lockup period was up. So the supply demand of stock, the free float, how much the short interest is, so all those things actually take over the dynamic of the trading strategies in the first couple of months.
So you mentioned the heady valuation. You also mentioned the daily active user base, 158 million. There was Aegis analysts today putting out a note saying that could be as slow as 3% in January and February, half the pace of Instagram. What does Snap need to pull out the bag if it's going to convince us of its valuation?
So what they need to do is next 2 quarters make sure that the trajectory of user growth and engagement is staying put in light of Instagram competition. If they can show that they can fight back, then you could see some change in sentiment. But if they do miss in the next 2 quarters and we see signs that the user growth is not going to pick up, then this is not going to be good for the company.
Interesting that you mentioned GoPro just before that. It was notable that all the time Snap was trying to make itself out to be a camera company, trying to stop us making association with Facebook and Twitter, and then you see GoPro today at a record low when it comes to its own share price. And can you give us a sense of what to look out for GoPro as well at the moment, because this is another key stock we've got to be watching?
Yeah, so essentially with GoPro, I mean, the market for their core camera seems to be saturating. I mean, we're not seeing a lot of growth there. If you look at the consensus expectations for this year, it's only 5% revenue growth. And competition is heating up in drones. They had the Karma supply chain issues and the recall and things like that before, which sort of hammered expectations early on. But now the competition is coming up, like when Xiaomi is getting into the market with drones, and pricing will fall. So the revenue side of the equation is actually worrisome based on what the end market dynamics are looking like in terms of competition.